it, well, for me, well, for the both of us, well, I've been struggling with the diabetes, gosh, going all the way back to probably 1988, 89 timeframe. So it's been a while. And the pre-diabetes type of thing. And I had a real good friend of mine that actually passed away because of diabetes. And I'll never forget one of the phrases that he always said to me, and he was actually a pharmacist. When he was diagnosed with the so-called pre-diabetic, he told me at that time, there's no such thing as pre-diabetes. Either you are or you're not. And that's kind of stuck in my head. And when I so-called got diagnosed with pre-diabetes, but that was way back when, and we controlled it with diet at first, and then all of a sudden with had to go in with the metformin. I never had to take insulin, and then all of a sudden the blood pressure and the cholesterol and all the other stuff, and it just went berserk after that. And been on that roller coaster for the past however many years, 30, 40 years. But tried some stuff, the other supplements and things of that nature. And I just happened to run into this program, and as I was going through and reading it, and I saw, and I'm familiar, not all the ingredients, but most of them I've heard or seen before. And the studies that were done in the past or that I remembered, and going through all of these, and I just did my own as well, searching to see the benefits, etc., and all this kind of stuff. And we figured, I was talking to Barbie about it, and she saw the video as well. And we decided, well, we've tried so many other things. I mean, what's different about this? And I mentioned well, it looks to me like the supplements, if nothing else, seem to be better proportion based on what I've seen before in the past. And I mean, we got to do something. I mean, I don't want to take any more of this stuff. It just, the metformin and the climbing, and of course, her numbers are sky high as they were. Mine really not coming down to where they should be. Even through the exercises and stuff like that. I had lost a lot of weight a few years ago, and then my blood sugars were still high. Not in the 180s, but they were around 145, 150. Could never get them below that. So, and I think the easiest part of this whole thing, for me anyway, when I saw the food plan, immediately I'm going, this is another keto project or program. And then I started looking through the menu stuff, and I'm going, wait a minute, no, because keto doesn't allow this, doesn't allow that. And then and this is like, I think either Joe or even Dr. Saunders, I can't remember on the videos, but somebody had mentioned it's not the calories, it's the carbs. And of course, I mean, I guess, and I've known this for so many years. And as a prior athlete, that's one of the things that we always used to work with. But back then is we wanted the carbs for the energy. Or at least that's what we were told as athletes. And so we can perform out in the field. And that was a lie back then. So I think that's what got me into this roller coaster with the diabetes, as far as, because I mean, I didn't change much after I stopped my sports back in the day. And I just added on the weight, and diabetes came on board, and I did the exercising, lost the weight, roller coaster back up again, up and down. And I guess a shorter story, that's basically about it. And of course, we ran into this program, and we decided that let's do it. I mean, once we saw the menu stuff or the grocery list, and I'm thinking, yeah, this is very doable. I mean, we could do this. 11 days later, as we got onto the call, it was just amazing. Of course, Barbie was well over 200, and I was up to the 185 areas. And then not even 2 weeks later, I was below 100 a few times. And then Barbie got all the way down to 102, 105.
Yeah, 102. I haven't been seeing 102, and I've been diabetic since 2011. I was pre-diabetic, and then it, just, kind of watched, just like you said, we're kind of doing what we could to watch it, and I could never get it down. And my numbers recently were, before we started, was 283 in the mornings. I mean, that was just, and I didn't feel anything. Diabetes is true, it's silent. But when we started to change the diet, started taking the supplements, I'm down to a half a metformin, and the rest are the supplements that we're doing and the changing of what we're eating and my numbers and I've been tracking my weight. I've been tracking my weight, which I'm not concerned about my weight because I started off at 160 and right now I'm like 153. But my weight wasn't what I was concerned about.
No,
it was the sugar. It was the blood sugar. And when those numbers were, I was threatened by doctors, not threatened, but we're gonna put you on insulin if these numbers don't go down. If that A1C doesn't go down, this is your next step. And I was like, we've got to do something. We've got to find something. I'm not one to take, medication, and I would do it natural. Like the supplements, they're natural. They're, it's what we have. Some of that stuff we have it in our own cabinets and, in our seasonings and stuff. So,
tell me again when you guys started.
Mhm.
When did you start again?
Yeah, well, now it's 15 days ago.
Oh, that's it. It's still only 15 days. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
15 days.
Yeah, 15 days ago.
And
And we've been consistent with, well, no, that's not true. The Friday was my birthday, and then Saturday was our grandbaby's birthday. So we ate very little carbs throughout the day until to save for a piece of cake. And
That's life, though. That's life.
But we figured, okay, so 2 days, and then we'll jump right back into it, and everything will be okay. And but as we were talking about, we don't want to get into this pattern and make it a routine. And sure enough, because we tested our sugar levels a couple hours afterwards, and mine was up to 150 something after that piece of cake.
Yeah.
Yours
was
around
170.
170 or so. But if we were not on this, mine have probably been over 200, and hers, who knows? But and then the following morning,
back to normal.
back to normal. I mean, mine was about 104, 105 back the next day, and same with her.
We didn't cheat on food. We stayed on our food, on what we were eating,
Yeah.
to keep the carbs down, like Neil said, because we knew that we were gonna have a piece of cake, and I had it the smallest piece, but still it affected,
Probably about the size of the mouse.
Yeah. And we still, after taking again, I'm on I cut myself from 1,000 milligrams of metformin to half.
And
And the rest of them are the supplements.
I actually had to cut it out entirely because it was the metformin was bringing me way too low. I was down to 171 one day. I'm going, holy cow, that's right at the border end.
No, 70.
Yeah, 70. I'm sorry, down to 71. And well, that's right at the edge. 70 to 100 is normal. Below that, it's the reversal. So I figured, okay, because I did the same thing. I'm taking 1,000, but even then I was taking 5 in the morning and 5 at night. It's too much. I'll break those things in half. Because it's devastating on my digestive system. And of course, as I was saying, I think in the webinar about bathroom issues.
Yeah.
I think everybody knew exactly what I meant, but that's crazy. I don't want that. And when we got onto the program, it started all over again. And that's where Barbie actually had to cut back a little bit on is it the cinnamon?
The cinnamon, yeah.
Because it was even worse for her. And so
But now I've regulated back
Yeah.
to where I'm taking 2.
so she's back to where the recommendation and
cut out
reduce
the
the
metformin.
metformin. And for me, it's like every other day I'll take it. And you can see the results when you test your blood. It's lower when I take my metformin the previous night, for example.
Tell me about how you guys have been feeling.
Oh,
wow.
it's like night and day. Before we were sluggish, very lethargic,
Sleepy after a meal.
tired,
Mhm.
everything like that. Just like the so-called symptoms of diabetes, and the when you get into those high numbers of sugar levels, especially her.
Mhm.
For me, it was just feeling sluggish and kind of foggy,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And now it's completely reversed. I mean, we're ready to roll. We get up early, we're ready to just get started. The day going, and the grandkids, of course, we got them, and it's been a completely
It
different.
almost feels like a natural energy.
Yes,
It's not like a caffeine driven, or it's not driven by something sweet that, you crash in 30
Yeah.
minutes. It's, for me, it feels something natural that kind of, I'm able to keep going and, going along the day without, I have a bad heel spur, and I know because of diabetes affects at high sugar levels. My foot has not hurt, the aches in my knees. And I know it's because of what we're doing. And I know it's the change in the natural supplements that we're taking, that is making that, my body start to absorb what I'm supposed to absorb, and
yeah, it's been crazy.
and give me the energy that, I'm not getting from all that junk food.
Oh, I'm so happy for you guys. Tell me what supplements you are taking. So Synachroma you mentioned.
Yeah, Synachrome is one. Let's see, the other one that I'm taking is the turmeric. Also take the Nervala and the gut.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, and then I also take at night I take 3 of the apple cider vinegar.
Oh yeah, sure. Lean ACV.
Just to comment on another thing that came up that Barbie brought up with her condition with the heel spur. I have a problem with my right leg, and one of the things that Dr. Saunders mentioned is in the webinar that hit home for me was that the diabetes, when it causes the nerve damage and stuff like that, that it at times it'll be whatever the insulin or whatever it is that it'll eventually start causing or breaking down muscle tissue. Well, that made a lot of sense because my right thigh feels like it's sore all the time. Like when you get through doing a lot of squats or something, you feel the soreness. Well, my right leg had been feeling like that for the past, I don't know, 6 months or so. And as I started taking the supplements, I'm assuming it's the Nervala, that because I feel the pain has subsided. It's not pain, it's just soreness. It's all, and there's like this morning, I didn't even have it at all. No soreness, no whatsoever. And my issue with that, it's not the neuropathy, and that's what the doctors misdiagnosed. It's my sciatica nerve. It's caused a lot of it was not crushed, but severely hurt and pinched to where it caused numbness throughout my right side of my body, my right leg, my right arm, my torso. Basically, if you were to cut me across my body from my left shoulder to my right hip, everything on the right side is numb to a certain degree. Not totally, but it's amazing how the Nervala in just 15 days now, I guess, has made a huge difference. And that condition, basically, the numbness started about how old is he? 16 years ago. Our first granddaughter. So I've been struggling with this so-called numbness for almost 16 years.
Oh my
And with
goodness.
lack of, he's not able to lift his leg up to, normal.
So I have to be careful when I go walk upstairs. Today or now, I still have to be that because it's not completely all the way back. But I can actually, run up the stairs when I couldn't before.
Yeah.
And in 15 days, that's pretty amazing.
Exactly.
I was real skeptical because I wanted to see what the ingredients were. How are they going to mesh with what I'm taking right now?
Yeah.
What's the difference in this
versus all the others that we've done before?
That we've tried before. And I told Vila, I said, we'll give it a shot. We'll give it the 30-day or the 2 to 4 weeks. Is it?
Yeah, the plan, phase one. We'll see what it does.
We'll give it a shot. We'll see what, it was the first week.
Yeah.
My sugars, like I said, I wasn't concerned about weight. I was concerned about my numbers.
Yeah.
And when I seen my numbers, I hit 108 one day on my, the paper that one that I'm marking here, 108. I haven't seen
And that was what,
108.
day 4?
That was day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days.
8 days.
8th day that I hit that number in the morning, because that's the most important number in the morning. And then the numbers after you eat have all been
Couple hours
below.
afterwards,
They've been 112, 120. I mean, these are numbers I haven't seen. After a meal, I haven't seen those numbers.
Well, I love it too. I think in one of your messages, or maybe it was on the webinar, you said, well, 2 things. You said you've been very consistent, and
Yes.
that is something that not everyone can do,
Yeah.
That's true. And that, but at the same time though, Leslie, that's why I keep saying that the thing that did it for me was the menu items, the grocery list. That's what I was trying to get at. When I saw the list, I'm thinking that's when I realized this is not keto, because we were first thinking this is very similar to a keto diet.
Yeah.
And there's no way I can stay on that. I just can't. I mean, it's just, I just can't. And when I saw these items, and then I'm thinking, everything on here we eat now anyway. Okay, so let's just do it. And the perfect example would be this. Every breakfast, every morning for breakfast, we both have 2 eggs with supposedly 4 pieces of bacon. And the way we came up with that is because one of the menu items just talks about a boiled egg with the cream cheese filling or whatever it is, wrapped with 2 pieces of bacon. Well, I'm not a big fan of cream cheese. Neither is she. So I just said, well, scrambled, boiled, what's the difference? It's still 2 eggs, I'm thinking. And as far as the bacon, okay, so we'll put it in and just do the bacon, normally bake it, whatever it is. And we'll just have that. And I decided to add some bell peppers, some jalapeno peppers, and things like that to the scrambled eggs, and that's it. We've added here recently the avocado, or half an avocado.
And it's good, right? It's good food.
Exactly. That's my whole point. That's what I meant about being consistent. Being consistent. And of course, that right there is, and for me, she can tell you, I used to drink Diet Cokes, mind you, but I would have one for breakfast, 5 or 6 for lunch, 5 or 4 for dinner. I'm talking the big bottles. I would go through maybe 2 liters, 2-liter bottles a day.
Yep.
And then and I knew it was not good for me. I knew that. And I knew that's why I couldn't get rid of my belly fat when I was going into all of these exercise programs that I did.
What was the breaking point for you guys, where you kind of were like, okay, what was it that pushed you to be consistent and to do this for real? Because that is something that people really struggle with. They got to get to a point where things are serious enough for them to do it. What was it for you guys?
For me, it was my diabetes numbers, my sugar. That was my breaking point of I have got to do something or I'm going to get put on insulin and be having to poke my stomach. I have 6 sisters, 3 of them are diabetics, and they're type 2 with insulin. And we're come from an overweight family. And fortunately, I haven't been overweight. The highest I've ever been in my life is probably about 185. But I'm tall, so I carry my weight kind of, thankfully in good places. But, to drop, 160, it wasn't because I was exercising, it was my diabetes. And now with the meal plan that I changed and the, doing the supplements that we're doing, my weight has dropped to this morning was exactly 153.0. And my number is just my number for my sugar is what I said, this is what we're going to do. And we're going to stay consistent because this is our life. This is what's going to motivate us to be able to enjoy these little ones and run with the energy that they have. Because without that, we would be on couches sitting.
Such good perspective. Are your sisters considering doing this with you?
we haven't even shared any of this. We've been-
Yeah, it's the only people that we've shared this with so far has been
Our
yeah,
children.
our children, and I have one sister of mine that's struggling with this as well. We haven't. She's not skeptical. She's just wanting to wait and see where we are and how easy this is. You know, things that come up with her family that she just
Sure.
couldn't, you know. And again, it's only been 15 days, so it's kind of
And
difficult.
she's on insulin right
Yeah,
now.
she's
Her
taking
numbers are
insulin.
300.
Yeah.
And she was like, I wanna talk to Barbie. We can
Yeah.
relate with those numbers. You know, I know what 283, 300,
Mhm.
you know, diabetic numbers, I know what those numbers are.
So she is definitely very interested
So,
to get
yeah.
back to us and figure out what are we doing. And then when I told her, you'll be shocked as far as the supplements are one thing, yes. But you'll be shocked just by what you, excuse me, just by eating what you're supposed to be eating. And these are foods that you probably walk by them every day and you don't even think about them and the things that you can do with it. And I think the biggest surprise for me too was the cauliflower, the mashed cauliflower, for example.
You like it? Do you enjoy it? I mean, do you enjoy it?
Yes,
I
yes.
know. I'm shocked by it too.
It's amazing.
Who knew it could be rice? I didn't know that either. And it's good.
Exactly. And so, yeah, I guess the motivating factor for me more than anything else was two things. One was I knew I had to do something about my leg, first of all, and exercise really was not doing it because I still do that from time to time. And it was just not helping. So I had to figure out something there, and I just don't trust the physicians anymore because of the fact that they misdiagnosed it in the first place. They kept saying that it was neuropathy. Well, you're just gonna have to live with it. It's a diabetic thing. You control your sugars and control your weight as best you can. You won't be able to reverse it, but at least it won't get any worse. You'll probably still be feeling pins and needles. And I keep telling them, I don't feel pins and needles. It's not pain, it's numbness. And so eventually they did send me to a neurologist and did their test and realized that, it's a pinched nerve. I'm trying to tell you that. And of course, going through the physical therapy and all of that, that worked, but it's still not a permanent solution. That's what I wanted is, I knew that we could do this. There's gotta be something that this can, there's people out there that are doing worse than me, and all of a sudden they're walking and running again. So what did they do that's different than what I'm going through? That's why the pharmaceutical part and the physicians, I just don't trust anymore, really, quite frankly.
And one funny thing about this whole plan, we haven't even started exercising.
Oh yeah,
We
not
we run
100%.
around with our grandkids,
Yeah.
which is a lot of, because I wear my
Your Fitbit?
Fitbit, and I track my steps and my heart rate, and so I get a lot of that when the grandkids are here, and that the cleaning and of the house and stuff like that, the chores and work and stuff. But we haven't really, because we've been talking about it. We're going to do a little bit
Trying to figure
of
out what.
muscle, just kind of
Mhm.
muscle building, just kind of starting to strengthen our muscles. We haven't even started that yet.
Yeah.
So I'm excited now. Now the weight, I'm like, okay, now I want a little nice arms, or a little muscular shoulders. I said, okay.
No, what I've done.
Keep me updated about how that goes, how you're feeling once you start doing that.
Of course.
Because I'd like to just continue this conversation and.
Oh, absolutely.
This is fun. This is
We're
good.
planning on being on this webinar here on Wednesday. Who knows what's going to happen in a few more days?
Seriously,
it's-
as fast
it's,
as you guys are going now.
It's amazing.
I'm just like completely sold.
Yeah.
I was
Because
skeptical. And
her biggest thing was 2 to 4 weeks. Yeah, right. Well, we did it in less than 2 weeks, quite frankly. And so, I mean, we got to where we need to be. Now it's just being consistent and doing what we did to get there in the first place. That's it. It's really that simple. I mean, and that's why I made the comment, if we can do it, gosh, I mean, anybody can do this. It's just a matter of just being consistent. We're not doing anything different than anybody else would be doing. It's just make a decision, stay consistent, follow the program, and you'll get there. Like I said, I mean, I've been on this bad numbers for over 30 years, and I did it in less than a week to get down where I need to be. So there you go. I mean, if that doesn't prove it, then I don't know what does.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
One question that I want to ask too is how important or how beneficial has it been to have each other to do this?
Oh, it's been tremendous because we keep each other accountable. I mean, and that's the other part. Good point. If somebody's doing it by themselves, they need to find somebody that can help them to stay accountable. And that's critical. There's no question about it. As a prior athlete, I can attest to that. When working out or whatever we're doing, it's always best to have somebody that's, whether it's a coach or a teammate or whatever it is, to hold you accountable. And the same thing in any program. If you don't have anybody that's going to help you to, a coach,
Cheer
maybe
you
like
on.
yourself or somebody on your team to hold them accountable, then yeah, I can see it not working, but it's not because the program doesn't work. It's because they don't work. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's
that's
the
good.
point.
Tell
Absolutely.
me, also, you know, you're just getting started, but how has the webinar helped you guys?
Oh, Dr. Saunders was amazing. Well, all of you guys. That's why I was, because honestly, Leslie, I was not going to, I was just going to listen. That's it. Just to see, okay, see what other, maybe some things will come in and maybe questions will pop up. And that's when I went ahead and asked the question, well, what should we do? And especially because Barbie was struggling with the bathroom issue, more so than I was. And that's why I asked the question. I figured, oh, what the heck? But I'll go ahead and give a little bit of background on where we come from as far as we were here, now we're here in this amount of time, taking the supplements. So what should we do? Of course, when Dr. Saunders answered the question, I'm going, well, of course, that makes a lot of sense. And that's how it started.
When was the webinar? Was last week?
Wednesday.
Last week, Wednesday. I'm going to be totally honest. When he told me about the webinar, I told him, I said, I don't need that. I don't need that. I'm sold on this. I know what we're going to do.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
I am going
That's
to
right.
do this. If you can listen to the webinar and just tell me
What?
the synopsis of it. Give me a quick. I said, because I'm sold on what this is doing, this program is doing for us. I said, completely. So if you want the webinar and more cheerleading, I said, go ahead. I said, so, and he's like, no, you got to watch it. Okay.
Yeah, I was just
I said,
gonna,
but
and again, like I
it
said, I
just-
was just gonna tune in just to see
yeah.
what if maybe some questions that might pop up that might help us or anything that that was coming through. And of course, I didn't realize that Dr. Saunders was going to come in. I don't even know why, because it was there after I read it, that Dr. Saunders was actually going to be there answering a lot of questions. And then when I saw that, I'm thinking, oh, wow, this is cool. And of course, Joe and yourself. Yeah, that
And I was
was,
glad he joined, he went on it because he asked the question. I was suffering with, am I taking too much? Is this affecting the other medicine that I'm taking? And he came back and said, you know what, you need just cut back on, one of the, on the metformin and then the cinnamon,
cut back one.
and one instead of taking two. Take one in the morning and then one at lunch. And then just kind of alternate. They're natural.
Yeah.
It's not anything synthetic that, it's going to hit me hard. It's going to, it's natural. It's going through naturally. So I did that. I started to, split them. And now I'm taking the way it's supposed to take, the directions on the bottle. And it's, and I was glad he asked that question.
Basically what Dr. Saunders recommended.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Yeah. So I should have been at the webinar, in other words.
He relayed the information. It was good.
Exactly.
It was good.
Yeah.
Okay, my last question for you.
Yeah.
Tell me about your sports that you played. I'm curious now.
Oh, okay. I was my main sport was baseball. I played from high school, college, and pros. So it's that's what I'm saying. Coming from the athletic arena, it's, to me, this is not a big deal. I should have never been diabetic in the first place if I'd have just known the things that, and in other words, just changing my diet. When you're in athletics, and when I was, and the things that I ate, especially the rice and potatoes and the meats and all this and quantities for the energy. Well, when you stop playing sports and you don't change that, well, where's that going to go? And honestly, I mean, I knew that. but I didn't care. I think it was more anything else. Is that I did it to myself. No, it was. I don't know how to explain it, but it's one of those things that I knew better, but I chose not to. I figured, who cares? I'll live forever, type of thing, and that's not that's not the case. And so now it's and of course we tried, like she said, we tried a bunch of stuff, and now it's watching the kids growing up and getting into the same athlete or the sports that I did, and when you can't get out there and run with them because I've got this limpy leg that I got to carry around and drag behind me, that's not fun. So that's why it's that's what did it for us, for me as well. I got to do something. You know, my normal weight is about 170, 175 is where I should be. But I started off at 220? Yeah, about 220. And today I'm at 197. And the crazy thing is it's 15 days and I lost that much weight because my concern wasn't healthy. Well, looking back at my roller coaster ride, I can remember losing that kind of weight in about that period of time when I was hitting the gym every day and just eating basically nothing, not keto, but just cutting out the fats and cutting out and I was cutting out a lot of the sugars, but not the right carbs, the bad carbs, put it that way. The starch, like potatoes and rice, I was still eating that, but I still dropped all that weight a few years ago. But when I stopped, of course, it all came back. Now with this, there's there's no reason why it should ever come back, period. Because the foods are like I was saying earlier, the grocery list is just amazing. It's just watching your carbs, stay on the plan. Once you realize what phase one is versus phase two, and this is what we're talking about. Phase two, 20 carbs. Is it hard? Yeah, the first couple of days, it's pretty tough. Well, for us, the first couple of days could be for some people, could be 2 weeks. I don't know. I can't answer that. But for us, the first couple of days, yeah, it was a little tough, and we just went over by whatever. But once you realize the foods that are on the list and recognize what the carbs are,
And taking the supplements.
of course,
counteract
yeah,
What,
it's easy.
and that was amazing.
Yeah.
And that's what I was skeptical on, because I've taken metformin, and which is damaging my kidneys and liver as it is. And when, he talked about these, the cinnamon and the Nervala and the turmeric, I was like, that's more stuff coming in. When I was reading the ingredients in it, I was like, this is natural stuff. This is not medicine.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah, and I love
it's in our
that Dr.
cabinet.
Saunders talks about that. He really believes that you reverse this through food, and the supplements are, added helpers.
And
Although, especially synochroma, we talk about that a lot. That one, those ingredients are harder to get in food.
Exactly.
So we all take synochroma for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
I
one
could
because
see
we're going
that
to take
one.
that stuff separately anyway.
That one is one that I can see very much taking it for, as opposed to a medication pill, taking synochroma for the rest, for however long it is that we're around. I could see that's the perfect maintenance vitamin or whatever you want to call it, supplement.
For people who are diabetics or not.
Yes.
Those are the things we need in our lives.
Yes. And when I was going through there, you need the vitamin K to be able to do the vitamin D. So things, I didn't know that. And that's
right. I didn't know that before either.
So that selenium, it's no longer in the soils. I didn't know that. I thought it was coming into foods when in actuality it's not.
Right.
Things like that is, again, that's the kind of research that I did before I decided to sign on the dotted line. Okay, let's do this. Things that I did not know, and these had nothing to do with Barton Publishing or with your program at all. It's just on my own, looking up the where this stuff is coming from, and realizing, this is we've tried so many other supplements and so many other stuff that seemed to work, but we always came right back, and our numbers really never came down. So let's just say that this will be our last one, and then we'll figure it out from there. And
keep trying.
yeah, and basically in her case, about a week later, huge results. And for me, the same thing. I just didn't see it that dramatically. It was down, but I'd seen numbers like that before, so I didn't think it was no big deal. The weight came down, yes, but again, I didn't think it was no big deal. But then the second week, when I saw it go below 100, which hadn't been there in I don't know how long, I'm going, no, this is for real. And her numbers the same way, from close to 300 down to 105 in less than 2 weeks. Yeah, we were sold.
Amazing.
That was the main thing. And yeah, and
That's when I
kept,
said that I'm sold. This
Yeah.
is what,
Yeah.
I'm going to take, I'm
Yeah.
going to do, and, be consistent, especially with
that's key.
taking, the supplements to be able, like you said, it just enhances everything and in a natural way, because I don't even like taking Tylenol or Advil for headaches. I'd rather find a tea
Yeah.
that I can drink, or
Yeah, I'm the same.
massage my index finger because of my temples, because I'd rather do it naturally. I'll
Yep.
find the natural way. 'Cause
I agree.
I'm just cautious of what,
Right.
my organs,
Yeah, the one last
Exactly.
comment about all of this is that as far as my mom actually had ended up on dialysis because of diabetes, and one of the culprits was metformin. She was also arthritic, very arthritic. So I don't remember what the ingredients were in that pill she was taking for that, but that also caused her kidney failure. But one of the major components that caused the problem was metformin, because she had been diabetic for many years as well.
And I'm so excited I'm down to one. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
That's amazing, you guys. This is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I was taking 1,000 in the day,
Yeah.
1,000 at night, and then I was being told I'm going to get put on insulin if this
Yeah.
isn't working. So I was like, when I just take out that one little pill and then all my other supplements, I'm like, this is what's doing what my body is accepting it. It's absorbing and it's doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And don't you feel like once you kind of have this, now you know what to do. It's under control, you know what to do. And it feels like you have all these other opportunities and you can see the world differently again.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're new
Absolutely.
people again. And so it's just such a great place to be. And
Yeah.
you guys
We're
did the
sharing
work.
this with my sister-in-law, his sister,
Yeah.
that, she's on insulin. Like my sister, I haven't even said anything.
We haven't
to
had
anybody.
time. We haven't had
I just,
time to let them know.
This is happening so fast. I don't want, them to, that's why I'm doing a journal.
Yeah.
Because I know my family, they're very skeptical
Yeah,
like I am. And if I don't keep a journal and show them, look what day one, day one was 283 was my sugar, day one. And then day two is, it went down to 194. I mean, that for me, those numbers are huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
I think on the webinar, I think I put 200 plus, because I couldn't remember the actual high number that she had. That's why I just put 200 plus.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's amazing. The things that's
we
happening.
haven't even had a chance to share. With.
Well, if there is anything we can do to help you or anybody else for that matter, please let them know that they can contact us. We'll let them know, and we'll definitely obviously keep you posted of our progress.
Awesome. Well, anytime you're on the webinar, give us an update. People like to hear real people talk about what's working.
Well, that's what did it for me, honestly. That's why I decided to comment what I did, is because of the people that were coming in or saying, and you reading the questions and the remarks. I'm going, okay, all right, let me just do ours and see what happens.
And that's what it's for.
And me, I'm like my sisters. I want to see.
I love that you're doing that. And actually that gives me some good information too, because we've been talking about a journal. We've talked about an app. We've been having conversations about what people need to see. I'm visual like that too.
I'm visual.
And I can say, I started in the upper 200s, but I won't remember the daily stuff.
Yeah.
And so
she's very
I visually have to see. And my sisters are like that. That's why I started doing this, because just telling them, we've done this roller coaster ride
Yeah.
before,
Yeah,
and they know that we failed,
yeah,
and just because of our numbers. And so I know that visually writing and tracking my weight, my sugar levels, I'm even doing my blood pressure, just to
Awesome.
see where my blood pressure,
Yeah.
you know,
And how that
falls.
correlates. That's good.
And because I know that's what, when we share this with them, they're going to want to see, let me see,
Yeah.
show me the money. Show me that.
That's good. You guys, this was so great. Thank you
Oh,
so much
Thank
for
you.
doing
It's
this.
inspiring for us to have support like you when, you're wanting to check and check on us.
Barbie did not believe that you were actually wanting to visit with us at first.
I was
Oh,
like, are they real? Is that something?
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
I know
I
people
got-
say that about the webinars too, because they're free. And Dr.
Yeah.
Saunders is on them and they're like,
Yeah,
sorry, my dog's ringing a bell over here.
that's how I was. It's,
I know it's real. It's real.
yeah, it is. It's definitely real and it's doable.
Yes. Yes. Thank you again, you guys.
You're
We'll be in
welcome.
touch. Hopefully I'll see you guys on the webinar on Wednesday.
Absolutely.
I'll
We'll be there.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm
Nothing else
excited to
will
share
count.
this with Joe and Dr. Saunders. So
Great.
you guys be blessed. Have a great week and
You
keep
do
us
the same,
updated.
Leslie.
Have a good
All right.
week.
Bye, guys.